Good evening, everybody. Just a couple of minutes to go before we start our yin restorative practice this evening on this lovely Friday evening, Good Friday. Okay, so we'll just get started. So grabbing a few props so you can have two blankets, one or two blankets, also your blocks or books, so two blocks, two books if you don't have blocks, and then a strap or a strap equivalent. So you can use a belt, you can also use a dressing gown tie or something suitable that you can put around your feet, and then also a bolster or equivalent. So you can use pillows, you can use cushions, but if you've got thin pillows or cushions, maybe have two so you can prop yourself up a little bit more. And we will get started in just a moment. We are going to start on our backs this evening. So if you've joined and you want to come down onto your back, then please feel free to do so. And we will wait here until we start and you can start tuning into your breath. So yeah, we've got another minute and then we will get started. So for those who are joining, your props this evening, two blocks or two books, a strap or the strap equivalent, so a belt or a dressing gown tie, a suit tie is also fine, and then a blanket or two, and then something that you can use as a bolster, so two cushions or two pillows just to prop some height to those. So let's get started. Coming down onto your back. Option here to bring the bolster under the knees. This is quite nice to ease off through the lower back. And bring the feet and the legs a little bit wider than hip width distance. And then just lay down here, bring the arms and the hands, so the hands about mat's width distance with the palms facing up, softening into the feet and closing down the eyes here. So first day of our long weekend. So allowing yourself to arrive, giving yourself permission to soften and let go through the whole of this practice. So for those who are new to a yin restorative style practice, it's a lot slower than your typical vinyasa power flows, and we work more with the fascia and the connective tissue. We hold the poses for a lot longer, and we don't have any core work, we don't have any chaturangas, no strength-based work in this. It's all about letting go, creating that space and openness within the body. So today's class is focusing on our hips and our hamstrings, often areas that get tight, hold tension, especially if you work at a desk, you get quite stressed, but also if you're runners and cyclists, this is a great class for you too. Good. So just starting to arrive onto your mat, breathing in through the nose. Allow the belly to fully rise, and then exhale to soften, release, and let go. Imagining that you're melting into the mat. Your whole body weight is supported by earth. Breathe in through the nose, the belly rises. Maybe count the breath. So I quite like breathing in for a count of 4 or 5. At the top, pause the inhale. And then exhale, slowly release for 5 or 6. So we're lengthening the exhale, releasing the carbon dioxide, the waste through the lungs. But also the exhale can help you soften a little bit more. Good, a few more breaths like this. listening to your body this evening so you know if you're working with any injuries, any limitations within the body. So only do what feels good for you. And the intention is with this practice to be as still as you can, use the breath. And this is often the most challenging, is the mind being still for longer, especially in poses that may be a little bit more challenging. And use the props to support you. So we want the props to help access these poses, but also then we can soften and allow any shifts, adjustments within the poses to work through the fascia and connective tissue. Good, one more breath here. Good, and then next inhale, hug the knees in towards the chest. Maybe take the forehead up to the knees, squeeze yourself into a little ball. And then place the head, shoulders back down. And then just gently take a little sway either side, massaging over the lower back before we come into our twist this evening. Good. So release the feet down. So take the bolster or the pillows to the right hand side, roughly where the hips are. The arms can either be goal posted out to the side, or you can bend into the elbows as you cactus the arms. Take the knees over the hips, take the hips slightly to the left, and allow the knees to come over to the right, resting on the bolster or your props. So trying to encourage the left shoulder down and scanning the body here, consciously asking yourself, where can you let go? Especially holding on to any areas of tension subconsciously, which we often do. Start scanning the body, all the fingers, the toes, the wrists, the ankles, knees, elbows, hips, shoulders, pelvis, spine, the neck and the head. Where can you ease and soften? Allow the body to come to that relaxation state. So working the yin, the feminine, cooling the nervous system, calming the nervous system. Good. Settling here. Using that breath. And allow the body to just be. Be in stillness. Good. Staying here for 5 more breaths. Three more breaths. Good. Last breath here. And then inhale, draw the knees back to center. Release the legs down. Pause with the hips in the middle of the mat. Arms come down beside you so you lengthen and align the spine. Good. And then take your props to the left-hand side. Come to the hand position of your choice. Take the knees over the hips. Slightly shift the hips to the right, and the knees come down to the left. So twisting with the knees to the left. Soften the ankle, soften the knees down. Closing the eyes. And focusing on the breath. So breathe in deeply, allow the belly to rise. Take the breath from the belly to the chest. And then exhale, release from the chest and then the belly. Good, just pausing here for a little bit more. Softening. Good, slowing everything down. And then just bring your awareness to the face, noticing where you can ease any tension, especially the forehead, the third eye, the jaw, areas that we often store tension. So With the jaw, you can part the teeth slightly and gently take the jaw side to side, ease any tension on the jaw. Good. One more breath here. Nice. And then inhale, draw the knees back to center, release the feet down. And then take your props to the side. So we're going to come into a little a hip opener here. So take the right ankle to the left thigh and pause here for a moment. Take the right hand between the right knee and the right hip and gently encourage the right knee to open away from you. Keep the right foot flexed. Breathing here. Shoulders are soft. And then you might want to draw the left knee up, interlace the hands around the back of the left thigh, opening a little bit deeper, but we want to make sure that the neck stays soft here, the shoulders stay soft. Good. Breathe here. Close your eyes. Breathe into the right outer hip. Good. Just here for a little bit longer, finding space. And take the mind to the muscle that you're feeling it in. So really, really take yourself inwards to the physical body. Good. 2 more breaths here. Good. So easing any tension, feeling some discomfort, especially if you're tight, but you shouldn't be shaking, the breath shouldn't be staggered or withheld, just an easy natural breath. Good. Gently release the left leg down. Goalpost the arms and then bring the legs over to the left. So coming into another little twist here. The higher up you walk the knees towards the face, the more you'll feel this in the outer right hip. So if you feel tightness, the right knee is facing up towards the ceiling, opening through the right outer hip. Good. Breathing here. Staying here for 5 breaths, softening the hips down, finding that space, finding that ease in this pose. So the breath is one of the most powerful things, tools during your yoga practice, both in your power flows, but also your yin and restorative. Bringing you back, creating that space, allowing the oxygen to flow. Good. 2 more breaths here. Last breath. Good. Draw the belly in as you bring the legs back to center. Release the right leg. Good. And pause here, centralizing the hips in the middle of the mat. Good. And then coming to the side, the left ankle over the right thigh. Use the left hand between the knee and the left hip to gently open the leg a little bit further away from you. Maybe this is enough. Feeling any shifts, any adjustments within the hips here, or you can lift the right foot off, draw the thigh towards you as you interlace your hands around the back of the right thigh. Just notice that you're easing any tension, the shoulders aren't drawing up. If your shoulders draw up and your head draws up and there's any tension, then ease the leg and come back to the first option. Good. Breathe here. Find that surrender in the pose. So knowing when to let go, knowing when to challenge yourself. And we want to let go here. We want to allow the softness so we can work within the muscles, so we can then access the fascia, connective tissue. Good. Breathe here. And pause. 2 more breaths. Good. And then gently release the right leg down. Goalpost the arms and then draw the legs over to the right. Maybe walking the legs a little bit closer towards the face as we start opening into that outer left hip here. Good. So the left knee is bent with the knee facing up towards the ceiling. The right knee is also bent on the floor, but finding comfort within the pose. So either backing out a little bit if you're feeling your breath is staggered, or if you want to work a little bit deeper, you've got more range within the hips, you can walk the legs closer towards the face. Good. So almost a nice twist as well through the spine here. Good. 2 more breaths. Nice. And then gently draw the knees back to center, release the left leg. Good. So we're going to need our straps now. So taking your strap, bending the knees, unraveling the strap and draw the right knee in towards the chest. Hook the strap around the ball of the left foot and then start to lengthen the right leg up. So just be mindful that you're not forcing the leg here into too much of an opening. The elbows are softening down and the shoulders are soft. Good. And press up through the heel, so we're opening through the back of the leg. Pausing here, and if this is enough, stay here. If you're happy with this, you're finding that easy, natural breath, you're feeling a little bit of discomfort up the back of the leg, maybe lengthen the left leg along the mat. Good. Soften the left leg and take the breath. So you may feel this more around the ankle, the Achilles, the calf, back of the knee, hamstrings, the hips. We all hold tightness in different places, so there's no right or wrong. You just should never be in pain. So if you're in pain, ease out and find an alternative position. Maybe you need to adjust slightly, but discomfort, fine. Pain is a no-no. Good. Five more breaths here. Keep that softness through the jaw, softness through the shoulders. And although we're gripping the strap, can you bring a little bit of ease to the strap? So rather than clenching on, can you soften the grip? Good. And then gently release the right leg down. Bend the left knee. Left knee comes into the chest as we hook the strap around the ball of the left foot. Then lengthen the left leg up. Good. And just notice how this side feels to the other. Do you feel you've got more space, or do you feel more resistance? And then pause here. Maybe lengthen the right leg if you lengthened the leg on the other side. Good. So just take the breath to wherever you're feeling it. Breathing in deeply through the nose and softening and releasing through the nose. Good. Maybe roll over the head. Just seeing where you're having tension and allow yourself to let go. Good. 5 more breaths here. Good. 2 more breaths. Good. And then gently release the left knee from the strap. Take the strap to the side of the mat. Bend the right knee. And we're going to come into our half happy baby. So hug the right knee towards the chest, maybe outside the rib cage towards the underarm. And then take hold of the outer right foot, or you can hold the ankle. And we want to encourage that opening through the inner right thigh. Good. But we want to keep the shoulders soft. You can either keep the left knee bent, or you can lengthen the left leg along the mat. Good. Shoulders soft, neck is soft. Drawing that right hip down. Breathing here. So accessing everywhere within the hips. So the inner hips, the outer hips, the hamstrings. So just working with those areas that we hold tension in to ease, bring some space. Good. 5 more breaths here. Just noticing if you're holding on anywhere within the body. And can you release? Gently release the right leg down to the mat. The left knee comes in. Bring the thigh outside the rib cage and then take hold of anywhere that's comfortable for you to come into your half happy baby, but with ease. Maybe lengthen the right leg along the mat. Good. So take the breath to wherever you're feeling it, saying to yourself, let go, surrender, soften. Anything that resonates with you. We all have words that feel better to say than others, but anything that encourages you to relax, soften, anything like that, use your own words to help you through this practice. Good. 5 more breaths. Good. 2 more breaths here. Nice. And then gently release the left leg, bend into the right knee, roll to one side to press yourself up to a seated position. And we're going to come into our child's pose. So you can use the bolster, either lengthways the pillows, lengthways the knees wide and come down like this. Or if you want to open into the shoulders a little bit more, you can roll the bolster a little bit further forward, bring the hand to the bolster as the forehead comes down, maybe bend the elbows as it also accesses into the shoulders. So the most important thing here, hips are nice and heavy, softening the hips down towards the heels, finding that space through the inner thighs, but allow the belly to rise and fall between the legs. Good, and then the neck is soft, softening the elbows, the shoulders, maybe roll the forehead side to side if you're carrying any tension through the head and neck. Good, and then take the breath to the hips and the lower back. Pause here, allow the body to be still and trying to keep the mind with you. Every time you notice it drifting, bring it back using the breath. So that's when you come back to count the breath as you inhale and exhale. Inhale maybe for a count of 4 or 5. Exhale for maybe a count of 5 or 6. Good, 5 more breaths. For that expansion in the belly. 2 more. Last breath here. Good, and then inhale, slowly coming up. And coming to our all fours here. So you'll need your blocks or your books, maybe your bolster. So it will vary depending on where you're holding tightness, where you're finding it comfortable or not. So from our all fours position, we're going to step the right leg to the top of the mat. Tuck the left toes under and bring the left knee back slightly. If it's uncomfortable under the left knee, you're feeling pressure, take your blanket underneath the left knee. Then the bolster, you can either take the blocks to the tall setting, so you start softening down through the hips. You can also bring the bolster in front and rest down on front. So find your comfort, but just making sure that you can soften through the shoulders. Good. Maybe tuck the chin slightly, feeling that opening through the front left thigh, maybe feeling in the inner groin as well. Maybe some opening, fascial movement. Some space being created within the right hip too. Good. Closing the eyes if that feels comfortable. Every exhale, can you soften and surrender the body just a little bit more? Good. Especially if you sit all day, this is a really lovely opener to take the hips out of flexion into extension. Good. 5 more breaths here. Just allow yourself to be in that stillness, mentally, physically. 1 more breath. Good. And then we're going to walk the right foot outside the right arm, coming into our lizard variation. So I quite like to bring the bolster lengthways here. You can also use the blocks still, whatever suits you and your body. So just make sure that the right knee is roughly over the ankle, soften the shoulders here. Good, breathe here. You can also tuck the left toes here and lift the left knee, coming a little bit deeper. But we're here for quite a while, so that might start to tire you. So I prefer my knee down so I can really access the hips. You can also come down to your forearms. That's quite nice as well if you want to work a little bit deeper through the hips here. Soften the neck, soften the head. Good. Breathing here. Where can you soften? Good. Focus on the breath. The inhale travels, creates space where you're feeling tightness. The exhale softens and let goes. So imagine as you inhale into the tight areas, you're filling up a balloon. And then as you exhale, it softens away, melts away. Good. Just here for a little bit longer. So really a great complement to the yin and restorative is a great complement to your vinyasa power yoga, which works on building strength in the muscles. The yin element is about the flexibility with the deep connective tissue and the fascia. Good. And then if you're on your elbows, your forearms pressing up. And then we're going to turn the right toes out slightly, come to the outer edge of the right foot, and then start to open through the inner right thigh. Maybe stay here, maybe come down to your forearms, breathing deeper into the hips here. Good. Five more breaths here. Working with your body. Last breath. Good. And then pressing yourself up, shift the hips back. And then come back to your tabletop. Stack the wrists, pause here, and then just gently take the hips side to side. You might feel some shifts, some feelings and sensations going on through that left front thigh, maybe the inner right hip. Good. Okay, so coming to the other side, so using your blocks, finding your space as we step the left foot through. Right knee maybe comes back a little bit, maybe take the blanket underneath the right knee. And then either coming to your blocks or your pillows to find that space, opening through the right front thigh. Tuck the toes under maybe, and just find your softness here. Soften the shoulders, soften the elbows. Good. Easing into this pose here. Using the breath for that expansion. Any tension in the jaw, releasing it. So part the teeth, take the jaw side to side. Good. 5 more breaths here. Last breath. Good. And then walk the left foot outside the left hand. Maybe adjust the props. So coming to whatever feels good for you. Working into our lizard variation. Option to tuck the right toes and lift the knee, but we are here for a longer period of time. So this then also activates through the muscles, and we don't want to encourage muscular activation here. We want to work the fascia, the connective tissue that surrounds the body like webbing. You can get very stuck through various things, so this really helps open it up, giving you space. Good, maybe come down to the forearms. Five more breaths here. Soften the shoulders, jaw. Last breath. Nice. Then slowly press yourself up. Turn the left toes out slightly, come to the outer edge of the left foot. Left hand to the inner left thigh to encourage the knee to open a little bit deeper. Maybe pause here or come down to your forearm. Good. Use the breath here. Front of the right thigh, the inner left hip. Good. Breathing here. Five more breaths. Last breath. Good. And then pressing yourself up. Shift the hips back slightly. Draw the left knee under the hips, coming to your tabletop, and gently sway the hips side to side. Really gently. Don't fling the hips. Just a gentle movement. Just bring some movement back through those hip joints. Good. Deep openings there. Well done. Okay, so taking the bolster and the blankets to the side, but have the blankets and your block to hand. So coming into our pigeon. So slide the right knee underneath the right wrist. Walk the right foot towards the left. Tuck the left toes under. Slide the leg back. Maybe take a blanket under the left knee if that's comfortable. If your right hip is lifted, take the block or a blanket underneath the right hip. Actually, if we all do that, it just helps find us more space. And then you can also place the blanket underneath the left hip for a little bit of padding. Good. Nice. So soften yourself down onto the props. Pause here. And then maybe take the blanket of the pillows, the bolsters, and then soften down onto the bolsters here. Good. So breathing into the outer edge of the right hip, glutes. Good. Take a deep breath in here. And exhale to soften. Good. Maybe come down to your forearms, resting the forehead down. That can feel quite nice. But just do what feels good for your body, where you can pause in that stillness without holding on. Letting go. Five more breaths here. 3. Last breath. Good. And then, excuse me, slowly coming up. And then roll the bolster forwards, bring the hands down. And then slowly coming out back to your tabletop position. Release the props to one side. Good. And then take the hips side to side, bring some movement back. Neutralize the spine. Good. Okay, so coming to the other side. Glide the left knee behind the left wrist. Walk the left foot towards the right as we slowly take the right leg back. Take the blanket or the block underneath the left hip and then one in front of the right hip, just to give you a little bit of padding here. Good. So the hips stay nice and neutral, supported. And then maybe coming down onto the bolster with your forearms. Good. Breathing here. Nice. Breathing in deeply through the nose. Take the breath to left hip. And exhale, releasing. Good. And then maybe bring the forearms down, the forehead down to the bolster so you can totally soften, surrender yourself. Five more breaths. 3. Last breath here. Good. And then slowly coming out gently, easing the body, maybe roll the bolster away. Release the props, coming back to your tabletop position. Good. And then just give the hips a little bit of a shake side to side. Nice. Okay, so coming down onto our backs, take the bolster with you and your strap with you. And we're going to place the bolster underneath the knees to start with, coming down onto your back, and then lift the hips and roll the bolster underneath the hips, so the flat part of the spine. So coming into a supported bridge here. Good. Bring the arms down beside you with the palms facing up. Pause here. Good. Options here. Lengthen the left leg along the mat. Either pause here, or you can hug the right knee towards the chest, opening a little deeper through the front of the left thigh, the right thigh too. Allow the left leg to be soft. Good. Shoulders are soft, neck is soft. Good. Breathing here, 5 more breaths. Allow the body to soften and melt any tension away from the hips. Good, last breath here. Nice, and then release the right leg, bend the left knee, and then lengthen the right leg along the mat. Maybe stay here, or hug the left knee in, interlace the hands around the left shin, draw that knee in as you open deeper, maybe through the front of the right thigh. Good, use the breath. Soften the head, the neck, shoulders. Good, 2 more breaths here. Nice, and then your next inhale, draw the right knee in towards you. Take the strap and place the strap around the soles of the feet. Good. And let the feet nice and wide, holding the straps with the elbows down, coming into your happy baby variation. So with the pelvis on the bolster, it helps tilt the tailbone, giving you more space, more access, whilst keeping the shoulders and the neck softening down. The strap also allows a bend into the knees without drawing the shoulders up, creating tension whilst reaching the feet, but it still gets you into that accessible pose through the hips, opening up through the inner thighs. Good. Breathing here. Five more breaths. Three. Last breath here. Good. And then slowly glide the feet up, bend the knees, release the strap, and come into your your restorative shoulder stand. So bending into the knees, bring the legs a bit wider than hip width distance apart, allow the ankles to soften, and just take the weight out of the feet. Most of our time, we're on our feet, so it's really nice to take the pressure, the weight out, and bring that lightness to the legs. Good. Closing the eyes. And feel that softness, feel that lightness through the lower half of the body. Good. Melting that tension away. Good. Then bring the soles of the feet down to the mat and preparing for your Shavasana. So options here, if you're close to a wall, you can take the hips to your side hip to the wall as the legs come up. You can also lift the hips, glide the bolster underneath the knees and bring yourself to the position we started in. So the legs wider than hip width, the hands mat width distance. Good. And I would just say avoid coming into your supine band, your butterfly, which is the soles of the feet together, knees open, because we want to allow the body to come into total relaxation here, and that's bringing in an opening through the hips. So close down the eyes, find your relaxation here, and soften the body into your Shavasana, the most important part of any yoga practice. So whether it be your power part, your yin, your restorative, allow the body to soften, allow the body to just be. Good. Closing the eyes and melting the body. Well done. Allow yourself to drift off to a place of comfort, a place of peacefulness and stillness, calmness. And allow mat to take all of your weight, not holding on to anything. There's no need to hold on. Let go of the hips, the shoulders, the ankles, and just be here surrendering. Good. I'm just going to finish with a little poem called Surrender. Yoga is a dance between control and surrender, between pushing and letting go, and when to push and when to let go becomes part of the creative process, part of an open-ended exploration of your being. So in our yin restorative, we want to let go. So I'm going to leave you here in your Shavasana. Thank you for joining me this evening for the second class of the day 10 of 30-day yoga challenge. I'll be back here tomorrow at 7 a.m. for a vinyasa flow. Enjoy your evening, and if not, have a lovely Easter weekend. Namaste.